Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So happy Thursday to us all. We had, well, Bitcoin doing what Bitcoin does, right? It goes up and then it comes back down. Markets overall were in the green today. We had the CPI data come out as well. That was actually pretty good for us. It was, I think it's the lowest since we were back in 2021. So that's looking good going forward. It does mean that the Fed's probably going to have to lower some more rates. And we got some stories from TeraWulf. TeraWulf reported a story today. We'll talk about that. We have a story on Google possibly going after Nvidia business for AI chips. And then we have some other good news stories as well on top of it. We'll get into obviously what happened today with the markets. We'll get into Q&A and we'll call it a day. All right, as always, you guys know the drill here. Non-financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's get into it. Let's see what we got going on here with the markets right now as it is. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to go? I want to go here to the browser. All right, here's what we got. So Bitcoin today had a nice rally in the morning when we got the CPI data coming out that we were down 0.4%. I think it's year over year, basically. We'll take a look at that in a second here. And we'll talk about it at that point. But Bitcoin, nonetheless, went down today. So we obviously had more manipulation happening here right now as it is. And we can see here what happened. We were going up here in the morning hours. And then obviously when we got the data come out for the CPI, things went up quite nicely here. Bitcoin got up to approximately a high of 89,166. And then following hour, we got up even a little bit higher to 89,447. And then we came back down here. We followed to go down as well. So more manipulation happening there in Bitcoin. We are going back up here a little bit. We do have the yen carry trade happening tomorrow, which is obviously the Japan Bank is going to be increasing interest rates there to, I think, 75 basis points. We'll see how that plays out for us tomorrow on Friday with all of this stuff happening here. And we'll see how Bitcoin reacts, how the miners react. But overall, today was not a bad day for the markets and miners in general. I mean, they were up higher in the morning, and then things were coming back down a little bit here, but it is what it is for us. Ethereum also similar situation here, went up higher, came back down. We're going back up higher right now as it is. So on the day here, Ethereum was actually down just a little bit, it was down 0.2%. It's up right now 2.95%. So maybe that yen carry trade is being priced in already. Bitcoin was down today 8.7%. It's up right now 1.59%. So we're doing okay there. I mean, we're holding the line above 80,000, which is good. For at least for the time being. We'll see how long this lasts. I think we might have bottomed out here, but we'll see on that one. And then as far as the miners here, didn't want to move that one up here. I'm going to keep it there. Bitfarms, there we go. Bitfarms continues to slide down here. It's now below the 100 SMA. We are still above the 200 SMA though right now, but it was down 2.16% there. BitDeer is way below all the SMA averages there. It was up actually today 2.56% here. Kenga was up just a little bit as well, 0.76%. It's also way below all the SMAs. Cypher was up 5.28%. This one has been bouncing off of the 100 SMA right now, which is looking pretty good here. Cleanspark was down 2.44%, and that one is battling with the 200 SMA right now. Right now we closed below it. We'll see if tomorrow we can rise back above it. We have fallen below it before, right? Just a couple weeks back in November, and then we bounced above it. We'll see if we can bounce above it again. CORZ was up nicely today, 7.3%. That one is still between the 200 and the 100 SMAs right now. Hive was up a little bit today, 0.38%. This one is also battling with the 200 SMA there. Hut 8 was actually down today, 3.91% for some reason after getting a nice deal there yesterday. We talked about that one, so that was a little surprising. That one is between the 100 SMA and the 50 SMA. IREN was up nicely, 5.98%. That one is below the 100 SMA as well. Mora was down 2.42%. This one is way below all the SMAs there. Definitely undervalued in my opinion. Riot was up a little bit, 3.24%. That one is bouncing off of the 100 or 200 SMA here, bounced off from there back in November. It's doing it again here maybe as well. And then Wolf was up a little bit today, 1.9%. It's been bouncing off the 100 SMA as well. Bitcoin mining, or not Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin Ethereum, Bitcoin treasury companies here were kind of mixed here a little bit. We had a little bit maybe more green or so. MicroStrategy was down, Galaxy was down, Block was up a little bit, Coin was down, Metaplanet was up 3.69, Exodus was up 4.61, and Nexon was up a little bit. Similar was up 1.06, Phoenix was flat, GameStop was down 2.04%. Small miners down for the most part, any being down the most here, being down 8.16. DG Power was up just a little bit, 4.24% there, and Mawson was down again 7.11%. And that one The Bitcoin miner ETFs were in the green here, 1%, almost 2%, 1%, 1.35, and WGMI up 2.68%. Ethereum holding companies down in the red mostly, except for BitDigital being up 2.54 and BTCS being up 101. And then other companies that we track here, Wi-Fi was up 0.92%. I saw a news story on them. I think they got a deal with somebody. I can't remember the company name right now, but they got a deal with somebody for some megawatts there, so that's good news for them. Open was up 2.61%. Oracle was up 0.88%. Nvidia was up 3.5%. Who else do we have here? Fermi continues to slide here as well. That one's at down 9.27. It is holding at like $8.22 here. Bounced off of that before a couple of days back, and it's come back down to that Tesla level again. Maybe that is a level of support there. We'll see. And that one. Meta was up today 2.3, Google was up 1.91%, Amazon was up 2.48, Microsoft was up 1.65, and Nvidia was up 1.87. So markets did pretty good here overall based on the CPI data that came out. So that was all good there. Looking at the miners here after hours right now, really quick. While we do that, we'll see how they're doing right now. Bitdeer's up 1.6%. Bitfarms here is right now up 2.2%. So things are looking pretty good here, at least pre-hours right now. And Kango's up 0.92%. Cypher is, let's see if we get this thing to refresh there. It is up 4.29%, so that's looking good. Cleanspark is up 2.77%. CORZ Scientific right now is up 0.96%. Hive Digital, let's see where that one comes in at, up 0.75% right now. Hut 8. See, it's up 2.07%. Sorry, 4.77%. So that's pretty good there as well. IREN is up, let's see, 2.51%. Mara is up 2.06%. Is that right? Yep, 2.06. Riot. Let's see where that one comes in at. That one is up 1.72%. And last but not least, TeraWulf is up. I'm guessing it's up. It should be up. Yeah, it's up 2.04% here right now on it. Looking at the Bitcoin performance here for December, we're down 5.25%. And we got the ETF inflows, outflows. We had positive inflows yesterday, even though we had a huge manipulation happening in the markets. IBIT even bought in 111 million there. Today we're down 194 million. So we'll see where we come in at with IBIT reporting there overall. But getting to some of the news stories that we do have here, obviously Bitcoin's biggest monthly accumulation in 13 years. Whales purchased 269,822 Bitcoin worth approximately 23.3 billion in just 30 days. Glassnode data here. You can see the chart here on this. And you can see this is going all the way back to 2013, 2012, probably 2012 area here where we had a huge accumulation here. We saw the same thing happening right now as it is. So this is where I go and for the video thumbnail, right? The old whales versus the new whales. Are we seeing that some of the old whales are selling out and the new whales are accumulating? That's why we've been kind of in this kind of doldrum in Bitcoin price action. Is we've been seeing a lot of these older guys maybe selling their Bitcoins, and the newer whales are starting to buy them up, right? So that's what might be happening here. Don't have any data on that to support, but just kind of seeing what's happening here going back to 2013. A lot of people at that point, the old whales, right, accumulated a lot of Bitcoin at that time. And we're seeing maybe a change in the guards here a little bit going forward here. We saw earlier in the year, old whales selling a lot, like over 8,000, 9,000 Bitcoin, whatever it was at that point, right? And that was being bought up by other companies as well and other new whales basically going forward. So eventually when that ends and the old whale stops selling, I think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up obviously at that point. So I still think we're going to be in an extended cycle here with Bitcoin going forward. Don't know exactly when that's going to start, but I think maybe after the new year we'll get that going here for that. Next year, the CPI data. So inflation unexpectedly falls 2.7 below expectations of 3.1%. The core CPI inflation falls to 2.6 below expectations of 3%. This marks the biggest drop in U.S. inflation since March 2025. Inflation was well below expectations in November. So that is a good sign, right? This is going to force the Fed to continue to probably lower rates here going forward, which then is going to bode well for crypto, risk-on assets, which a lot of these miners are considered as the risk-on assets right now because they're riskier as it is, because we've obviously seen huge price volatility in those guys here over the year. They've been up huge. They've come back down quite a bit as well. So I think that's going to bode well for them. That should help us out into 2026 here. And then this was kind of interesting as well. Oracle and OpenAI received Michigan approval to power a 1.4 gigawatt Stargate data center with DTE Energy. fast-tracking electricity for a facility the size of a nuclear reactor. The project pushes their U.S. partnership beyond 8 gigawatts of plant capacity and 450 plus billion in investment, with Oracle fully covering power costs there. So the demand for AI is not stopping anytime soon, right? Oracle and OpenAI definitely have a huge partnership there together, and Oracle is plowing through trying to get as much data up and running as quickly as possible. This is probably going to be a couple of years out because you got to build it out, but nonetheless, this is just another little check mark in our theory that AI is not stopping anytime soon here. Okay, next here, Oracle just became the backbone of TikTok US if this deal goes through here. So Oracle was up 6.4% after hours. And the news is TikTok has agreed to sell its US entity to a joint venture controlled by American investors. Oracle, Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi-based MGX will collectively own 45% of TikTok's US operations. Key details: the deal is supposed to close in January 22nd here. It should be probably 2026, not 2025. Oracle, Silver Lake, MGX, 45% ownership. Existing ByteDance investors will have about 33% there, and ByteDance retains 20% ownership there as well. Market reaction, obviously, Oracle closed at $179.56 after hours. It went up to $191.04. And then after hours, that was the price there, gain of 6.4%. Why it matters: Oracle will be primary cloud infrastructure provider for TikTok U.S. operations, a massive multi-billion-dollar revenue stream. This comes after Oracle already hosts TikTok's U.S. data centers under the Project Texas arrangement there. So interesting things happening there, and this obviously helps Oracle out, generates a little bit more revenue, plus they're getting into more AI data centers and things like that. That's going to be good for them because they need the extra revenue there. Okay. Next, this one I thought was very, very interesting here. This is from Ricardo. So this is, I believe, his viewpoint on it, and it could be very, very interesting going forward here. So based on what he wrote here, Google just launched a direct attack on NVIDIA's most valuable asset, not their chips, their software. And if this works, NVIDIA's $4 trillion empire collapses. I don't think it's going to collapse completely, but it definitely does open the field up for more competition, which is, I think, good. Right? Here's what's just leaked. So Google is building a Torch TPU, a secret project that makes PyTorch seamlessly run on Google's TPU chips instead of NVIDIA GPUs. Why does that matter? PyTorch is the most used AI framework on Earth. Every AI developer uses it. I use it as well. I use it for my little AI machine that I have here in the basement that's behind me. I do some large language model training, not really training, but using them, just trying to see how they work, all that fun stuff, right? That goes with AI. Even image generation, video generation, just to see how things work, try to understand the technology behind it. And PyTorch is a requirement for that there. So, and PyTorch is used a lot. I mean, it's pretty much industry-wide standard use there, right? See, and PyTorch was built around NVIDIA's CUDA software. So NVIDIA's CUDA software is a proprietary software there. Wall Street analysts call CUDA NVIDIA's strongest defense wall. It's the reason companies can't easily switch away from NVIDIA even if when alternatives exist. And that is true. You don't just buy NVIDIA chips, you buy into their entire ecosystem. That is also true there. Switching costs millions in engineering work, months of rewrites, performance drops. So companies stay locked in, right? It's much easier to develop software and things like that for CUDA because it's already been around for so many years. It's just much easier to work on it. And it's something that's been around for a long time, so it's easy, right? Even when NVIDIA raises prices, even when supply runs short, that's not a hardware moat, that's a software prison. In a sense, yeah, if you don't have an alternative that you can work on, then yeah, it is kind of you're kind of locked into that point, right? And Google just found the escape route. Here's the problem NVIDIA created for itself. Google's TPU chips are actually good, competitive performance, better availability at low cost. I don't know specifically as far as what the cost is on those. Google keeps it pretty close to their chest there, I think. But obviously Google uses a lot of their TPU chips that they self-design in-house and manufacture, and then they use in their own data centers there. And they've been very, very happy with that performance there. Let's see here. But developers won't use them because Google's chips run JAX, Google's internal framework, not PyTorch, which could be obviously a little bit of roadblock there. That means if you want to use Google TPUs, you have to write your entire code base, right? You can't use CUDA and all that other stuff. Nobody wants to do that, so Google's TPUs sit unused while developers fight over NVIDIA chips. Until now, Torch TPU makes PyTorch run natively on Google hardware. No rewrites, no performance loss, no months of engineering. You just switch. That's awesome that you can do that. And Google's partnering with Meta, who built PyTorch, to make it happen. That's kind of interesting there. I didn't know Meta was the one that actually built PyTorch. That's interesting. That's going probably way back then. But that's awesome that Meta made it available to the community. They're even considering open sourcing parts of it to speed up adoption, so that's good there. Translation Google is willing to give away for free just to break NVIDIA's lock, and Google has done that in the past as well. If you think about Android, right? Android was pretty much given out for free, right? Google bought up Android, did all the work on it with the consortium there, and they made it available to anybody that wanted it. Now, if you wanted to have like the Google Play Store and things like that, you had to obviously, I don't think they had to pay any royalties or anything like that, but you had to basically sign off on some paperwork there. But they have done that in the past as well. The implications are insane. Every company currently paying NVIDIA's premium prices suddenly has a way out. Oracle, Microsoft, OpenAI, all locked into NVIDIA's ecosystems, can't switch to Google. NVIDIA's pricing power evaporates overnight, and the timing is perfect. NVIDIA's already facing heat. Semiconductor index dropped 3% today. Oracle just lost their biggest investor over AI spending concerns. Companies are realizing AI infrastructure costs are unsustainable. I don't know if that's the case. I don't think everybody, or I don't think all the companies, I'm not saying that that's unsustainable. It is expensive, obviously, and a lot of these guys are building out a lot, especially OpenAI, Oracle, right? Those guys are building out a lot of data centers there. Now Google hands them alternatives, same performance, lower cost, better availability. And Jensen Huang knows exactly what this means. CUDA has been NVIDIA's untouchable advantage for years. It's why NVIDIA trades at 50x earnings while AMD trades at 25x. The software mode justified the premium, but if Google removes that switching cost, NVIDIA becomes just another chip company, and chip companies compete on price, not ecosystem lock-in, which is true. And here's what happens next. Google needs 12 to 18 months to make Torch CPU production ready. I think they could probably do that even faster if they wanted to. If it works, cloud providers will adopt it instantly. They want an alternative to NVIDIA's monopoly pricing. That's why we're seeing also some companies going with AMD chips instead of NVIDIA there. It's a small portion, but we are seeing that. And then Amazon already building their own Trainium chips. Microsoft making Maya. They're all trying to escape NVIDIA. Google just gave them the software bridge, and NVIDIA's response options are limited. They can't buy Google, can't kill PyTorch, Meta owns it, can't stop open source. Their only play is to keep improving CUDA faster than Google can catch up, which is true. But that's the race, not a moat. The market isn't pricing this in yet. NVIDIA down 2% today, Google down 2%. This was obviously from a day or so ago. Investors think this is just another competitor. They don't understand this is an attack on the foundation of NVIDIA's valuation. Hardware is replaceable. Software lock-in is what made NVIDIA worth $4 trillion. I think it's also the hardware. The hardware has been fantastic, right? The speeds and everything else, the technology there behind it, the other mechanisms that go into it to build these data centers, these huge computing powerhouses, that's all part of it as well, right? There's other technologies there that link them all together. That's part of it. So it's just not that. I don't think it's going to be a reckoning for Google or for NVIDIA really quick here. Google is attacking the lock-in. Watch what happens in 2026 when Torch CPU goes live and companies realize they can actually leave NVIDIA. The NVIDIA is unstoppable narrative dies. I don't buy into that completely. I think NVIDIA still has a lot more ways to go. But it does give us some more competition to the space, which is good, because we don't want to have, obviously, monopolies in this space. We don't want to monopolies in any space. In general, this is a good thing here for the overall ecosystem of AI, data centers, and things like that. It gives you more products, more availability, which is a good thing, right? But just wanted to point this out to you guys. I thought this was very interesting there on it. And yeah, I mean, the space is definitely evolving quickly here. And it's going to be fun to watch it, how it evolves even further in the next couple of years. Okay, that is it. But down here, they had the different types of chips here. Let me see, where was it at? There it is. I don't want to play it here. Let's see, because I think there's music going in the background. I'm going to get demonetized if I do that. But down here, they're talking about Riot graphics GPUs. And these are the ones that are built by NVIDIA, AMD as well. You got ASICs, which are obviously application-specific integrated circuits. We know about these because all the miners are using ASICs in the form of Bitcoin miners, right? And then you have the FPGAs, which are field programmable gate arrays. They're also used by Intel and AMD there. And Edge AI, which obviously we see chips for on set, basically on your phone and things, other places like that, where you have these AI processing chips as well from Qualcomm, Apple, Intel, Nvidia, and the other two I don't know which those are. But so the field is expanding, which is good. All right, that's it. Next good news story that we have is on TeraWulf. So TeraWulf and FluidStack announced successful pricing of project financing for 168 megawatts of HPC compute joint venture. And today they announced the successful pricing of it with a joint venture at the Abernathy, Texas campus. The financing supports the development of the next generation liquid-cooled AI data centers, delivering up to 240 megawatts of gross power capacity, 168 megawatts of critical IT load under a long-term hosting structure with investment-grade credit support. The financing benefits from the long-term credit enhancement provided through FluidStack's platform by leading a global hyperscaler partner, materially strengthening the project's credit profile and supporting efficient capital formation. Proceeds will be used to fund construction, establish required reserves, and complete delivery of the facility, which remains on track for commissioning in the second half of 2026. So that's good. Right, we're basically a year out, maybe like 9 months or something like that, by the time this gets up and running here. So they are getting closer and closer to that, and this just gets them in another step closer as well. So this is great news for them. But this is all I got for you guys. Pretty short and sweet here. We'll see how tomorrow the yen carry trade plays out when the Bank of Japan raises their interest rates. So tomorrow might be a fun day if it hasn't already happened, because I think Japan's like way ahead of us as far as time is concerned. So we'll see how it plays out nonetheless. One other thing that I want to kind of talk to you guys about is people are just good people. Today, this is totally unrelated here, but I thought I would share this with you guys nonetheless. I was at a store, Best Buy. I was getting a computer for the company that I work for. We needed a computer because one of our other computers died. Go inside, get the computer that I need, come back out, and I see a note on my windshield, right? The windshield wiper, right? It's like between the windshield wiper and the windshield. I thought it was a ticket. I'm like, what the heck did I get a ticket for? I open the note up, and it says, "Sorry, I hit your car with the wind, with the wind being so strong, if flung the door open and hit your car, and I dented it and scratched it." And provided a number on there, and to obviously give him a call, when I find this out. So I thought this was very, very nice of that person to do it at that time. Could have just went off on their merry way, didn't not bother and provide any information or anything like that, but I thought this was just a very good gesture by that person to do that. And it does, it doesn't remind me. I know that there's still a lot of good people in this world, and this was just another little incident or evidence of that being the case here. We do see a lot of good people in this world as well, and I thought it was just a good story there. So I went and actually got a price quote on the repairs, how much it's going to cost. It came up much higher than I even thought it was going to cost. It came out to be like $950, something like that, which was, to me, it sounds a little crazy here, but it's the scratches down to the metal, so they got to basically take the whole front fender off, sand it down, repaint it and all that stuff. So there's a lot of hours involved in that. They got to also pound it out as well, even it out. So I reached out to the person, let them know, here's the deal, here's the quote on it. Thank them for being honest and providing their information. And they told me that they work for a nonprofit organization. They've had a swing of bad luck this year, so that they weren't going to be able to cover it themselves. They'd probably have to get their insurance involved. So I was like, okay, well, at least you were honest with me. So I reached back out to them and said, if you cover like $500 of the cost, I'll cover the rest of it, right? You were kind enough to be honest and let me know that you were the one that was at fault here. And with it being the holidays, I was feeling generous and thought, I'll help them out. So that way they don't have to report to their insurance rates won't go up, and they can still get it covered up and get it done, right? So everybody's going to be in the good here. And just wanted to say thank you to that person again for being honest and being forthcoming that they did that. And I'm willing to help out people that are honest and do those types of things. So humanity is a beautiful thing. People are definitely good out there. You just have to witness it, I guess, sometimes to remind you a little bit. But overall, happy that happened. Not happy that I got dinged, but happy the way it ended up nonetheless here. Okay, that's it. Just want to share that with you guys a little bit. And let's get into Q&A. All right, let's see what we got going on here in Q&A. We don't have much comments here. I don't know if everybody's watching the football game or what's going on here, but we only have a couple of things here. So we're going to go through this relatively quickly here. Let's see here. Kamikaze says, it's the same manipulation as yesterday. It definitely looked like it today. John says, tomorrow is quadruple witching day with 7.1 trillion of options expiring. This happens 3 times per year. Major volatility will happen. Okay. See, quadruple witching, a time for dry powder. Okay. And that's it. That's all we got for you guys. Nobody else is out here. We're going to call it a day. It's actually kind of nice. Finish up early today. Maybe watch a movie or something like that. All right, that's it. We'll cover whatever happens tomorrow. Obviously, on Friday, we'll see what happens with the quad witching hour. We'll talk about, obviously, what happens with the yen carry trade, with the Bank of Japan increasing rates. How does that affect the markets and everything else? I'm thinking that stuff has been kind of priced in already. I think a lot of people were already selling some of their positions to pay back basically any loans that they had or something like that, possibly. And I think that's probably going to be done and over with here tomorrow. So from that point on, we might be actually able to go up here in price on a lot of the stuff here. I mean, Bitcoin's up a little bit here right now as it is. So we'll see where things go. See, I got a couple comments coming in here really quick. We'll get to those. We'll call it a day. Let's see. Okay, Japan raised interest rates by 25 or 0.25% per CNBC. That's kind of what they were talking about there. Let's see. Abhila, I can't pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Thanks for your time, Simon. You're very welcome. Roger, it looks like 84,000 Bitcoin won't break. So you think it's going to hold at 84,000? The bottom was 80,000. I'm thinking the same thing, but time will tell, right? And we'll see where things go from there. But overall, we're still doing pretty good here. Be positive, be patient, dollar cost averaging if you can. And I think we'll be much better positioned in the coming months ahead into 2026 as well. All right, but that's it. That's all I got. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great Friday. And we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, bye.